it ain't broke, don't fix it. It's a cliche, I know, and cliches are the worst, but sometimes that message goes a long way, especially for arcade games. Some of the biggest names from the coin-op days have since struggled with trying to modernize, trying to change, trying to be something they're not. Remember the girl who wrote Never Change in your high school yearbook? I would have written that in the yearbook of every arcade game ever. Fortunately, playing Gradius Galaxies is like going to your high school reunion and finding out that, hey, Gradius didn't change. Oh, what's that, Gradius? You never got married either? Let me buy you a drink! Released for the Game Boy Advance back in 2001, Galaxies was the first Gradius game designed for a handheld since Nemesis 2, also known as Gradius Interstellar Assault for the original Game Boy. A lot had changed in the decades since then, so Gradius did the right thing and pretended nothing had changed whatsoever. God, I love you, Gradius. Remember when we danced at the prom? Gradius Galaxies was, in 2001, a modern refresh of a classic series, but modern in presentation only, and even then not by much. It just looks like a pretty Super Nintendo game, but with all the fancy tricks developers loved doing on the GBA, including those rotating objects. It's like that was mandatory for making GBA games. Holy crap, we better make something spin! True story, the GBA hardware was actually inspired by a game of Spin the Bottle between Nintendo characters. Boy, Peach was not happy with Mario that night. Neither was Samus. She's not really into plumbers. So Galaxies looks good, but it plays even better. The slowdown that hurt prior handheld Gradius games, and even some of the older console releases, isn't a problem in Galaxies. The game runs really well on the GBA. And the nice thing is that you can actually play with rapid fire turned on if you want. So, if you're just god-awful at video games, like me, you can still blow some shit up. Well, emphasis on some shit. In fact, Galaxies takes a few modern measures to atone for past brutality. The game saves your game to the battery, so dying doesn't have to mean starting all over. Your save file lets you return to any level you've already beaten, which is great. And the game also gives you infinite continues, which still weren't enough for me. But the effort is appreciated, Gradius. Maybe you have changed after all. Of course, while part of this game's charm is its old-school approach, that's also the thing that holds it back in some ways, especially in terms of content. Galaxies has 8 levels, so that's one area where I wish it would have been more 2001. For some comparison, Gradius Interstellar Assault for the original Game Boy, that game only has 3 fewer levels, and that was 1992. This isn't the greatest Gradius game ever released or anything, but even with sparse content, it's one of the better ones I've played. It's more accommodating for lesser pilots, while also being hard enough to please those more skilled. And hey, they're rotating objects, so, you can make things spin on the GBA. I didn't know that. It's Gradius Galaxies. Thanks to Mark from Brooklyn for sending it in.